You know, Ocean's 11, this is like the Revenge 9 here. Here are the guys, Fred Warner included, that were on the team that lost in Super Bowl 54. That's a great team.
Very good.
There's a reason why these guys are still on this roster. Active players from that past Super Bowl who have lost, coming back to run it back on Sunday and hoping for a different outcome. So a win in Super Bowl 58 against Mahomes, against the Chiefs. Again, Peter, the table looks the exact same, but what would the win mean for the 49ers?
I think when we look at like the all-time Super Bowls, you look at that score and it was 31-20 Chiefs, and you're like, all right, well, Mahomes, I cannot express enough to the viewers at home how much that game felt like it was the 49ers the entire game. I was in that building. I was on the sidelines. Fox was obviously broadcasting it. I'm standing with Tony Gonzalez, a Chiefs legend. Chiefs had waited 50 years to get another Lombardi trophy and would do so for the great Norma Hunt. And it was this whole deal where it's like, this is our moment, it's our moment, the build-up, and then the Niners were rolling. This is a play that happened at the end of the first half. The score is 10-10, and it's not discussed as one of the most controversial calls of all time because the game went the way it did. But in the moment, and even now, I think Niners fans still talk about it. Let's go to Buck and Aikman on the call. 10-10, end of the first half. This was the call.
Garoppolo, sideline. Kittle, what a throw and catch! And a flag flies. He creates the separation at the top of this route. He's working against Daniel Sorensen.
Pass interference.
Right.
Offense number 85.
There. Because he can't impede then on the ball, and that's a good call.
Surprised they called that in the Super Bowl.
They called that in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Metellus is here saying, I'm surprised they called this. It is one of the most, it's a call, and Buck is right.
It's a call.
It's an offensive pass interference, it is. They called it on that play, which was a physical Super Bowl. So you think, okay, instead of going up 17-10 at the half or 13-10 at the very least, they just took a knee the next down and they would go into halftime. Then you get to the fourth quarter. We forget here, the Niners are up 10 when this play happens. In the fourth quarter, Mahomes throws across an interception. The Niners are up 10 with 11 minutes left to go in this game.
Yeah.
Okay, so you put this all together, and they somehow, some way, whether it be the Wasp play or whether it be what Sammy Watkins did to Richard Sherman, the Chiefs would outscore the Niners 21-0 in the fourth quarter and win this Super Bowl by 11 points. To me, that was that game. They have had to then since, well, the next year was COVID when they lost everybody to an injury in week 2. Bosa, Garoppolo, everyone's down, so that was a lost season in 2020. 2021, they're up 10 points in the NFC Championship game in Los Angeles, and they lose that game. And then last year in the NFC Championship game, Brock Purdy gets injured on the second drive, and it's over. This has been such a long road, and they were so close. I think this means everything to those guys because they know how hard it is to get back. You cannot underestimate how close the Niners were to winning that Super Bowl. The score does not tell the story.
Yeah, that's great. I think, for me, I'm a big manifestation guy, if you guys didn't know. And it works a lot like this. Can you please show me the clip from Super Bowl 54?
I will be back here. I will be back here, and I will be back with a vengeance. You will not get the best of me, no sir.
Yeah, so in this clip, you hear George Kittle talk a lot about just him being back. He said, I will be back, and I'll be back with vengeance. And manifestation is putting that energy out and attracting that same energy back. And this happened, obviously, years ago. And for him to be back in this position now, I think means a lot to him, and not only to him, but just a reassurance to the organization of the body of work that they put in, that, you keep going through a process. You have a process, you have your process, and you keep pushing it, you keep, putting work into it, and you get the rewards back. So I think, being a manifestation guy, seeing that and seeing him be able to get this opportunity to relive this moment and to get his vengeance that he talks about, I think it would mean the world to not only him, but those other 8 guys that was on that team.
Absolutely. And 4 years ago, like you discussed there, you don't know if you're going to be back again, right? This could be Kittle's shot. This could be Fred Warner's shot. This could be Kyle Shanahan's shot. Kyle Shanahan's widely considered one of the best coaches in this league. The way he is having this offense with all the motion, it's revolutionized how people have copied the trend. He has taken this team to 4 NFC Championship games in the last 5 years. Consistency. He has not won the big game yet. And you talked about the Super Bowl 4 years ago. I was there that day too, and you're right. It was the 49ers all day. And as much as the Chiefs won it, the 49ers also collapsed. That was a late collapse sort of deal there. And so Kyle Shanahan has that on his resume. He also has, in 2016, when he was the Falcons offensive coordinator, 28-3 on his resume. And so sometimes it gets in your head a little bit. Can we win the big game? And this is a chance for Kyle to put that away. You don't want to be known as the best coach to never win the Super Bowl, right? Right now, he's in the consideration of the best active coach to maybe never win a Super Bowl. You look at people who are on this list all time, your Marv Levy's, your Bud Grants, your George Allen's, really good coaches, but that's on their resume. We look in the NBA, Charles Barkley, what are their jokes?
Karl Malone,
yeah, you
Patrick
don't win a ring. And so this is his opportunity, his 7th year as the 49ers head coach. Can he get over that hurdle with a team that on paper has the talent to do it? Can he lead them over that hump? To me, this game means a lot for him.
Do you think the last 2 weeks, coming all the way back against the Packers, coming all the way against the Lions, is a sign that, hey, I can do this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think those are key steps because that's been a knock on him. He can't come back from games. You came back against the Lions. You came back against the Packers. These are not the Lions. These are not the Packers. These are the Chiefs. These are Patrick Mahomes, arguably one of the best quarterbacks of all time right now. Chiefs. Can you do it against them?
Don't want to play from behind.
Exactly. They can't come behind. They got to win this game, and it's on Kyle Shanahan to be able to figure out a way to get it done.
Super Bowl being played in Vegas this weekend. Last night I had a very New York City experience. I went to the Knicks game, my first Knicks game ever. They were hosting the Memphis Grizzlies. It was awesome to be at Madison Square Garden, his classic venue. I'm watching the Knicks play, and I've covered the NCAA tournament for 8 years, so I'm a little bit more confused when I see some of these guys, like Luke Kennard, like he's on the
Duke.
Duke. Like I'm so used to seeing the college jerseys, I got to adjust to the NBA jerseys. I'm looking at this Knicks roster, Peter, and I'm like, 3 or 4 of these guys were on a Villanova national championship winning team, and I'm just watching Jalen Brunson kill it. Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart is on that team. It's ridiculous to watch him. You look at those guys, and they're champions.
Yes.
You just look at champions differently. And Jalen Brunson could have the entirety, which he did last night, of Madison Square Garden clapping MVP for him as he's played, which he played a great game. I don't know if he's hurt, and I hope it's not for the long run. But it was awesome to watch him play, but you just look, and you're like, that guy was won a title. And if these guys can't get this done on Sunday, they're just going to be more players that played in a Super Bowl. They're going to show up on TV, and we're going to say, George Kittle here on Good Morning Football today. You played in 2 Super Bowls or 3, however many it becomes. And that's a compliment, and it's a great accomplishment. But it's not winning the title. There's just an air to those who have won a title, no matter what level it's at. And I'm watching the Knicks last night, and I'm like, look at this team of champions. And you think James Dolan's sitting there, and he's like, I hope it comes to New York City, but if nothing else, 4 of those guys on the Knicks roster, they've at least won a national championship.
True.